What's going on, everybody? Time for Matt's Undisputed Top 5. I didn't think just sending out a list would really do it justice this week. A whole heck of a lot happened, and I do expect this to spark some discussion. So yeah, let's hop right in. Week 11 edition. Number 5 is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. They did lose, but not enough to knock them out of the top 5 for me. Early Sunday afternoon, Baltimore was on the brink of setting up a third blowout in a row. A great defensive play saw them go up 7-0, and then a dominant offensive drive saw that lead double to 14. This seemed like their chance to establish themselves as potential Super Bowl favorites to me. And, you know, I was sitting in the stands, and it certainly felt like it might go that way. With a minute left in the first, Baltimore found themselves with a 2-touchdown lead and the ball. The Browns would own the rest of the half, scoring 2 field goals in the second quarter and shutting down the Ravens completely. We know what followed in the second half. Lamar looked uncomfortable when Schwartz started sending blitz packages. He took too many sacks, which I would credit the Cleveland defense for forcing him to do, and they forced him into some bad throws. We're going to move on to number 4. That's going to be Philly. And I know putting an 8-1 team at 4, a lot of people might not like that, but, you know, the rankings don't just go based on best record. Certainly that helps, right? It's a great indicator, but it's a soft 8-1. Who have they beaten? They beat the Pats. Not impressive. They beat a discombobulated Vikings team. The Bucs, the Commanders twice, the Rams, the Dolphins, and Dallas. So you want to pick out their 2 most impressive wins? We're talking Miami and Dallas. The Dolphins haven't beaten anybody, okay? Anytime they've played anyone semi-decent, they've gotten blown out. So I don't know how much stock you can put in that win. Yeah, their offense is dynamic, but again, I got to see more from Miami. I'm still not sold on them. Dallas, they've beaten a JV equivalent New York twice. The Jets, the Patriots, narrowly beat the Chargers, and they beat the Rams. So there's not enough substance in this 8-1 for me to put Philly any higher than 4. Number 3, it's going to be Cleveland. Cleveland rocks. This was, to me, the most impressive win of the weekend, which I try to say objectively as a fan. An away win at last week's number 1 in division after being down 2 scores in the first 5 minutes. You can't negate the importance of this win. You know, at the stadium, I heard, you know, expected jeers of, you know, enjoy your Super Bowl after the Browns won. And I'm okay with that. Because Ravens fans are right to a point, just not because of the reason that they're saying it, and I'll explain why. This was a franchise-defining win for the Browns. There's no player in the league criticized more than Deshaun Watson outside of maybe Dak. And everyone's rightfully been asking the question lately, is it the worst contract in sports? All that guaranteed money, can't stay on the field, he's throwing the ball into the ground. Trust me, I've had many frustrations on my side watching as a fan. And had the game gone according to script, after a back-breaking muffed punt, made it 31-17 Baltimore with 11:34 to go in the 4th, we'd be talking about a 5-4 team with little to no chance to win the division, and those conversations would be a bit louder. But we're not. Deshaun went a perfect 14-14 in the second half. He made numerous plays with his legs. He put one in through the air. I look for 3 main characteristics when we're talking about a championship team. One is a great defense. You can't debate that, all right? You like them or don't like them, the defense is fantastic. 2, you need marquee wins. I'll highlight 2 of the Browns' wins. One over an undefeated San Francisco, the number 1 team going into the week. The second was this past win against Baltimore. Again, the number 1 team going into the week. You know, part of what makes this win so impressive to me is how highly I do think of Baltimore, their division rivals. It far and away the strongest game of the weekend for me. So that's all I got. Browns at 3. Number 2 is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Not a lot to talk about here. They're on a bye week. The biggest news out of Kansas City was what Travis and Taylor were doing down in Argentina. So I will just reiterate, I love their defense, and there's no duo that I trust in the league more than Pat and Andy. Chiefs at 2. Okay, number 1. I'm expecting a lot of pushback here. San Francisco is number 1. They slid in recent weeks, and they slid hard. It was ugly. It raised valid questions, but there's one inescapable truth, and that's that there isn't a team on this planet that, when at full strength, I would pick to beat San Francisco. They were my Super Bowl pick before the year. They still are. They absolutely dismantled 6-2 Jacksonville. Brock looked so much more comfortable having Trent back, which is not a huge surprise. He threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, a completion percentage of 73.1. Defensively, they held Jacksonville to 221 yards. They caused 4 turnovers, only let up 3 points. And by the way, if you haven't been reading the news, they added Chase Young for a third. The only thing, in my opinion, that can stop San Francisco is injuries. That wraps up the top 5. A little bit of a preview going into the week. I'm just going to highlight a couple games of the week. Starting off hot Thursday, we finally get a decent primetime game. It's going to be Baltimore versus Cincinnati. Both teams losing last week guarantees this will be a bloodbath. I can't wait to watch it. I like Baltimore to bounce back and cover. Second up, staying in the best division in football. If you don't see that, I can't help you. It's Browns-Steelers. Put Mike Tomlin in the Hall of Fame already for having this team at 6-3. I can't wait to attend this one in person. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be ugly. Give me the Browns 19, Pitt 13. Last game to watch, Chiefs versus Eagles. Philly needs a marquee win, and this is their opportunity to do it. And really, the same can be said about Kansas City. I'll take the points with Philly, but I'll take Kansas City to win 28-26. That's it for the Week 11 rankings and preview. So, yeah, it's been great, guys. Thanks.